Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen my last video, I am actually starting a new series called Researching the Soul, where I take time off from working and figuring out what my passions are. So as I mentioned in the last video, one thing I really want to do is start teaching dance. And as I mentioned, I actually didn't start dancing until I was in college. So today I want to do a story time of how I actually got into dance. It's actually a very personal story and I really want to share it because I feel like if you guys know why I love dance and why I do what I do, you'll understand why I want to go into teaching. So the dance world is very unique and every dancer has their own story. So that's really why I want to do this video. So I obviously I did ballet when I was 5, but I'm not going to count that. So it really started when I was in college. During my freshman year of college, I took a modern dance class just to fill a requirement. I really liked it. And I only did it for a semester because I wasn't able to fit into my schedule later on. So, and I also had a few friends who dance, and I loved watching them like practice or recital in the common room of our dorm room, and then watching them on stage. Like, it's such a beautiful process. And like, I just really fell in love with the aesthetic. So fast forward to 2016, so 3 years ago, was probably the worst year of my life. It was definitely a really dark time for me. I was in a very dangerous living situation. And I was losing a ton of family members. Like, I had a ton of sick family members. My sister was going off to college, so it really felt like I was on my own. I was in a very vulnerable state. Like, if you touched me, like, I would freak out. I didn't feel comfortable showing my legs or anything. And so I would be wearing like leggings if it was like 100 degrees outside. And I just really felt like I completely lost myself. I don't know, I just didn't really feel like I knew who I was anymore. And I was going through all this trauma. So I was really struggling to find an outlet, and going to therapy just wasn't enough for me. Like, going once a week, and I just went to the counseling center at my college because that was free. I didn't want to find the effort to find another therapist, especially because people there already knew me. So that's what I did over the summer, and it just really wasn't cutting it for me. I wasn't getting any better. So when I moved out of my apartment, I was home for a couple of weeks, and I was starting to think, like, maybe I should get back into dance again, because I really loved modern dance. I love watching my friends dance. So I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe I'll try it again. And I went on to my college website, look up classes, and I was able to fit 2 in my schedule. So I retook modern dance, which I had already taken already, which I already knew I loved. But I was also interested in ballet, which I had done when I was 5, but like, maybe I'll try it again. So I was thinking I might do that. But then when I went to sign up for a class, I noticed that the instructor's name was, the instructor was a man, so I was very hesitant. Like, am I going to be comfortable in this class? But I figured I'm just going to give it a try, and if I don't like it, just not go anymore. So then after I signed up for the class, I went to buy my ballet slippers, got everything I needed for class, and then fast forward to when I went back to school. I went to modern dance. I absolutely loved it. I remember why I fell in love with dance and all that. And then I had ballet the next morning. I was really nervous because I was going to have a male teacher. Also, side note, I should mention that my college has a really huge affiliation with the Boston Ballet. So obviously, like, the teachers are going to be like definitely like more on the elite level and all that. So that was another factor I was nervous about. Like, am I going to be uncomfortable in this class? Is it going to be, I just wasn't sure if it was going to be too much for me. So I woke up the next morning with the worst stomachache, and I'm not sure if it was because I was nervous about the class or if it was all the snacks I ate the night before. So I go to class, and one of my friends was actually in the class, so that definitely helped me a lot. Like, that kind of helped me calm down. I was still nervous. My stomach was killing me. Like, literally thought I was gonna like throw up in the middle of the class. Like, that, there was just like so much going on in my head. Like, I was mentally prepared to be uncomfortable. I was mentally prepared to like never go to that class again. It was just like so much going on. And then So then I met my teacher, and then about 10 minutes into the class, like, I was feeling okay. I was like, I have nothing to worry about. Like, this is gonna be okay. Most people in my class, like, have been dancing their whole lives, but maybe there are like a few others that have never danced before, so okay, maybe this won't be so bad. And later on in the day, like long after class was over, I was already starting to feel a little bit better. Like, I was starting to feel more like myself. Me and my friends were actually going out that night because it was a Friday, and it was like, and then when I was getting ready, I put on a crop top, which I have not done probably in like a year. And I was actually starting to feel okay, feel a little more comfortable in my skin. I was like, all right. And then we went out, we were having a great time and all that. I was like, okay, I think we finally found something. But obviously I still had a long way to go. Like, I still need to recover from what happened in my apartment. Like, I was like terrified. Like, I was still terrified of being touched. I was really just afraid of like men in general. It was a lot going on. I don't want to like get too into it. I kind of want to like, you can tell I'm still kind of holding back, but for the sake of this video, I'll do what I can. So then the next week, we were stretching class, and then my teacher came over to me and he like grabbed my feet so that way my feet would be pointing more, and I like freaked out. I was like, oh my god, he just touched me. Oh my god. And it was the first time that like anyone has touched me in like months. Or like, okay, maybe more than that actually. So it was like a foot in the door, but at the same time I was like still freaking out. And like he touched me a few more times in the class, like not like anything inappropriate, but just like correcting my movement, which like even like the littlest touch like freaked me out at the time. So then he fixed and then he like corrected like the way I was holding my arms, like in this position, like just little things like that. Like the more he did it, like the more I was like okay with it. Like I was very lucky to have the teacher that I had, because he was super, super gentle with me, especially like anybody who was new. And he had no idea what I was going through on the inside, which meant so much to me. Like he had no idea like I was struggling. I was feeling vulnerable in my body. I was battling PTSD. And like he was still, and yet he was still super respectful with my body. So that meant a lot to me. So then after that like foot in the door, like I was starting to feel a little bit more better. And then following the next week, that's when I really started to fall in love with dance. Like that's when I really started to see progress, like literally just within 3 weeks of me dancing. And I fell in love with the music. We also had a live pianist in our class, which really like, you really had the full experience, which was amazing. And then, yeah, so after that class, I went on, me and my psychology club, so I was a psychology major in college, we went on a walk to prevent suicide. And while I was going on this walk, I realized that I was feeling so much better, and at some point I wanted to open up to my teacher and like thank him for what he's done for me and all that. And I remember like, I remember the exact moment when I was thinking that. So on this walk, there were like some people holding signs with free hugs on them. And there was this one like older man, like he was probably in his maybe like late 50s, 60s, something like that. And I went over to give him a hug. And I think if this was like maybe even a month ago, I wouldn't have felt comfortable going up to this man. So the fact that I was able to do that meant so much to me. Like I was able to open myself up to others again. Like I was starting to feel okay with people, starting to feel okay with people touching me again. Like just like the littlest like innocent things, you know? Like that's literally how like vulnerable and violent I felt in my body. So the fact that I was able to do that meant so much to me. I was like I'm actually getting somewhere, you know? So after that, like I just fell more and more in love with dance. I was also in my dance club. One of my best friends at the time was actually the president. So we were like doing rehearsals and all that. I was like doing like so much dance that semester. It was amazing. So the way my schedule was, I took modern dance on Tuesdays and Thursdays after class, like at night. And then on Fridays, it was like straight up just dance. I would have ballet in the morning, and then I would go to lunch, and then we would have like rehearsal for my dance club. And that helped so much. And then, so I knew one day I was gonna open up to my dance teacher, and I really, like, this class like helped me so much in my recovery. Like, I knew modern helped me a lot, but for some reason, ballet really just did so much for me. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think with modern, I don't know. Lost my train of thought here. I think with ballet, it's like so much conditioning. Like, you're trying to like stretch your body a certain way. Like you're really like, ballet is just like super, super intense. Whereas with modern, it's more loose. But like with ballet, you have to be so in touch with your body. Like, you have to like point your feet a certain way. Like, you really have to like, it's like 100% focus. But meanwhile, with modern, you're kind of like, just like, I don't know, channeling like things that are bothering you or making you feel a certain way, like stuff like on the outside of dance, and you're kind of just like letting that go. Whereas with ballet, you have to really just channel in with your body and all that, like learn to be comfortable, you know? So I think this was actually right around the election. Yes, it was on election day. And I wanted to tell my dance teacher, like, so badly, like my ballet teacher, like what I was feeling and what he's done for me in the class. Like, I was just so nervous because like he had no idea what I was going through on the inside, and it's such a really like sensitive subject. So and I told myself, like, okay, I'm gonna tell him today after class. And I chickened out. So then I finally decided, like, okay, I'm gonna email him in advance, like asking if I could talk to him after class, and then I won't chicken out. There's no backing out. So it was actually on election day. I think this was like before I went to vote and all that. I sent him an email being like, hey, this is Taylor from your ballet class at Endicott College. I was just wondering if I could talk to you after class, just like in regards to the chorus. Nothing too big. If you can't tell, if you're busy afterwards, that's fine. Just wanted to like touch base. So then I just blasted out that email, and then like literally 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, just remind me when you come in on Friday. And I was like, all right, this is happening. Like, it literally took me so much just to mentally prepare for all of that, because like I've gotten so used to like just like holding everything in. Like, obviously, like I was like completely covering up myself. Like, I never really opened up to anybody, like in regards to like what I was going through and all that. Well, except for my college counselor, of course, like the guys over at the counseling center and like some of my friends. But like, this is only like this guy that I've been seeing like maybe like once a week for like not even like 2 months at the time. So like, it's a lot, you know? So I remember having so much anxiety that on the day of that I ended up opening up to him. And this is literally like one of the biggest days for me, like still to this day. And usually at the end of every class we have reverence. So you're kind of just like, I don't know, it's very, very like, I don't even know how to describe it. You're kind of just like doing like small movements, and then you bow, curtsy, whatever. And I remember I was having the biggest panic attack, just like moving my arms like this. Like, I was like trying to breathe, like it was just like too much. Like, I was having a full-blown panic attack. I literally thought I was going to throw up. I was literally so nervous. And then afterwards, like, class was over, and then one of my friends was talking to my teacher. So like, okay, I have a few more minutes to breathe. Everything's gonna be fine. And then he comes up to me and goes, so you wanted to talk to me? I was like, oh shit, oh shit. Like, it's all good things, I promise. I was literally like so defensive. I was freaking out. So like he like came up super close to me. I was like freaking out. I was like, not because I was uncomfortable, because like I was about to open up at something like very personal. And like I feel like we never really had a chance to get to know each other and all that. Like I would just come to class, do my thing, and then leave, you know? So I started off with saying like, so I don't know if I told you or not, but I kind of signed up for this class for mental health reasons. I kind of been dealing with some trauma, like some serious trauma, and I just wanted to let you know that this class has helped me a lot. Like, I really appreciate everything you've done for me, like, just like things like that. And he was literally so touched. Like, I think our relationship like got so much better like since then. Like, I mean, it's not like it was bad. Like, we were like, I don't know. We didn't really like get to know each other, but like after that I felt like we got really close, you know? And then, yeah, so he was thanking me for like taking the time to open up to him and all that. And then he asked to give me a hug, so I was like, yeah, sure. And then this has stuck to me for like the longest time. First off, like this is the best hug I've gotten in like maybe the 20 years I've been alive at the time. So like if you hug me the way he did, like you are staying in my life forever. I'm telling you that right now. So he's hugging me, and what he said to me like as he was hugging me, like, will stay with me forever. So he's saying like, oh, I'm so glad to have you in my class. And then what he said next, he said, we need dance in our lives. And that's been my mantra like ever since, you know? Like after that, like I've lived by that. Like if I didn't want to go to literally just timed up on me. Yeah, so he's hugging me and he says, we need dance in our lives. And like that's something that I've lived by like ever since. Like that's become my mantra. That's become my mantra. So if I wasn't feeling like going to dance one day, like I would remember him saying that to me, and then like I would go. So, and then after that, like he no longer, so I remember after that semester, he no longer taught the course, and I was devastated. I thought he was going to come back, but then someone else taught the class. And I remember coming back to my dorm room crying. Like I still wanted to go to class, but just, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same feeling. Like, it was like such a very, like, I don't know, it was an experience. And I don't know, like nothing else could ever replace that. Like even now, like no dance class will ever be the ballet class that I had at the time. Like I am just internally grateful for taking the class I did and having the instructor that I did at the time. Like, it was amazing. But thankfully I was still able to see him like every now and then. Like he did some like shows like in the Boston area, so I was able to like catch up with him, like tell him like what I've been doing. And after that semester, I only took ballet like the semester afterwards, because I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't take modern or any other class after that, but I remember my anxiety got really, really bad. Like I was having panic attacks all the time, so I was like, okay. Like after that semester, I was like, all right, I need to start dancing like more than once a week. Like I was only doing ballet, but I realized with modern, like it was like very energetic. I was able, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It felt like I was like detoxing the negative energy. Like I was able to get things out of my system, which is why like taking modern ballet was such a great combination for me. So over the summer, I started going to the studio in Brookline, and I still go there when I go home. So I started taking like contemporary and like jazz. Like I started like playing around with a bunch of different genres. And then I started going to like the Boston Ballet facility. They have a couple different locations, and they offer beginner classes for adults, kids, and all that. So I started going to like the drop-in class for adults like once a week. So I was doing that, and then I was also going to this other small studio like 2 to 3 times a week. So at that point I was dancing like maybe like 3 to 4 times a week, and it's helped me so much. Like I ended up losing a ton of weight, and it started helping me with my anxiety over time. Like I was starting to feel like my best self again. And like no matter what I was going through, like since then, like I always had dance. And I've had that like when I got here too. So that's my story. And oh yeah, I should remember, I did want to add this in too. So around fall of 2017, it's been I have it by the time, so around that it had been a year since I started dancing, and that was when the Me Too movement really like started to come about. So I told my ballet teacher that I was dealing with trauma, but I never really told him why. I wasn't ready. Like, I was very like vague. Like the day I opened up to him, like saying like, "Oh, I was dealing with this trauma, and your class really helped me," just like things like that. So, and he was away at the time. So what he does now is like he actually like travels around the country and works with a bunch of different dance companies, which is amazing. Sometimes every now and then I like to go on his Instagram and like find out like where he is. It's like playing Where's Wallow, you know? I don't know. This is what I do in the meantime. So I was like, okay, I feel like I need to open up to him. Like I really like at the time, like I felt like really close to him. Like I really felt like he was in my support system in a way, you know? So like, all right, I feel like he deserves to know. Like after, by then I had seen him like a couple times. Like I think I saw him like every like 3 months or so, like within 2017. So I was like, okay, I feel like he really needs to know like what exactly I was going through. Like he knew I was going through trauma, but he didn't know exactly what. He didn't know what exactly I was feeling. He just knew that dance was good for me. That's it. I don't remember what exactly I said, and I wish I still had the text, but basically I explained to him what the Me Too movement was in case if he didn't know, and then I told him about the living situation I was in, and that I was part of the Me Too movement, and that I didn't feel comfortable being touched. I didn't feel comfortable being approached by other men. Like it was like literally like so intense. And being in ballet, like I was able to get over that. Like being like constantly going to dance afterwards, like it really helps me a lot. And like I don't think about it much now. Like back then, like I never wanted to live in an apartment by myself again, and just things like that. Like here I am now. Like I have my own apartment. I won't much longer anymore, but that's because my friend needs a place to live, and we're rolling out a budget, so it's just to save money. It's not like I don't feel safe by myself. I totally do. Like this is the safest place I've ever lived. But and then I also live in downtown San Diego, which is maybe not the safest place to be if you're living by yourself, but like I have no problem walking around. I have no problem like if I get catcalled, it's not gonna ruin the rest of my day. These are like things I like literally have started taking for granted. So I digress. And I actually still have the message he sent to me when he responded. I ended up taking the screenshot of it because like literally what he said to me meant so much to me, and every now and then I still look at it. Like if I'm feeling down. I'm gonna try to pull it up. All right, here it is. So, oh yeah, I should also mention. So, one of the requirements in order to graduate at my college is to have a senior thesis. So what I did for my senior thesis was kind of just like exploring like dance for people who are going through PTSD. So basically, just to like see like whether or not it is actually effective. So what I did for my senior thesis was I just interviewed a bunch of different dance therapists, see like does it really help and like what they do with their clients, like just things like that. Just so you know, like, all right. So my ballet teacher said like in response, "I'm so glad you come through the trauma and conquered it. And I'm equally glad that I could be part of that journey. You are strong, and it's wonderful to see you turning your past pain into something great for your future by studying how other people can experience the same release. Keep dancing, keep moving forward." Yeah, so that was something like he always said to me, like no matter what, like just to keep dancing. I'm like, yeah, I know, that's why I dance. But like even now, like, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately too. Like, when I moved here, like, I definitely wasn't as committed to dance as I was back in Massachusetts, and especially when I was working full time. And then going back to the last video, obviously, like I went on a bunch of Tinder dates because I got my heart broken. And one thing that really helped me, like in that time, like I was in a lot of pain, actually. I don't think about it much now because like I feel fine now, but like it just really, but I was hurting a lot at the time, and dance really helped me. Like the day like the guy texted me back like saying he was seeing someone else, I went to dance that night and I already felt so much better. Like I was able to channel like all that pain in class. And I remembered my ballet teacher back home saying to keep dancing and like literally don't ever stop dancing. And I was like, this is why I dance. Like no matter what you're going through, dance will always be there for you. And so that's really why I want to start teaching. Like I want to make it my own. Like obviously I don't have the credentials to be a dancer because I don't have any certification, but like maybe if I'm just like teaching like an open class, like you never know what someone's going through. Like you can make it your own. It can be healing for you. It can be healing for like anybody else. Like just if they have like a rough day at work, if they got their heart broken, like I did like not too long ago. Like you never know who you're affecting. Like you don't want to just, that's the thing. Like it's easy to like help someone who you know is dealing with something like if you're a therapist, like you know you can help someone, but like I don't know, just like when you help someone that without even knowing it, and they tell you, like that's like one of the best feelings. Also, side note, I need to mention this. So when my heart was broken like not too long ago, I was at a dance one night, and so I was telling my teacher, this is a different teacher, so I was telling him, I was like, oh, thanks for class tonight. I was actually dealing with a broken heart. This helped a lot. And then one of the people who works in the dance studio, her daughter comes up to me like right after I said that, and she was like, you were so good tonight. I was like literally right after I mentioned that to my dance teacher, he was like, you were so good. I don't know, that was like the most wholesome shit that's happened to me all month. Like that just made my heart really happy. But yeah, so that's why I want to start teaching. I want to make it my own. And obviously, like, since I haven't been dancing as much as I did back in Massachusetts because I've been so busy working, I really want to focus more on my technique. I want to learn new things. Like, as I mentioned, I want to do a split, kind of like Laura DIY wants to with her New Year's resolution. I want to do more techniques. Like, I want to be able to, like, really help, like, my future students, like, be the best dancers that they can. Like I don't know, ideally what I want to do is like just teach like drop-in adult classes, like just things like that, you know? So like just knowing this, like I hope you understand like why like dance means a lot to me, why I want to make a bigger impact on the dance world, you know? And I also want to do like some fun projects, like maybe be in the performance arts. I know one studio in San Diego like does that with beginners. So I want to do that. Like, I didn't even have the chance to do that because I was working. So, like, now that I have this free time, like, I can actually do stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm very excited for this series, and hopefully I hope you guys enjoy it too as much as I will. I'm very excited, so stay tuned. I really hope you liked this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys soon.